But one of our headlines this morning is the Ontario government moving one step closer to making daylight saving time permanent in the province. But what would that look like? So let's crunch the numbers. So this morning here in Toronto, the sun will rise at 7:26. The new rule would mean we wouldn't get any sunlight until 8:26, and sunset would get pushed from 4:44 to 5:44. Let's look at Thunder Bay. Sunrise would move from 8:21 to 9:21, and the sunset from 5:07 to 6:07. Windsor, sunrise at 7:36 to 8:36, and sunset would move from 5:02 to 6:02. But what about cities in other provinces? Montreal sunrise goes from 7:08 to 8:08. Sunset gets pushed down to a quarter after 5. And Edmonton, the sunrise would move an hour to 9:20 in the morning, and the sun wouldn't set till 5:22. So what are your thoughts, Canada? I mean, like, my personal thought is it's never affected me. I hear we do these stories all the time about people's sleep and their happiness, and it has never affected me one iota.
Really?
Not one bit. So I can go either way. But I know it does affect people.
Yeah, and you know what? It didn't affect me much until this shift. I couldn't figure it out, but on this shift, I really noticed, like, it takes me almost a full 2 weeks to sort of like reacclimatize. Also in the winter, I don't know about anybody else, but like I get this panicky feeling like I've got to like get my grocery shopping done, get my errands done before it gets dark outside. And that all moves up an hour in the winter. Kelsey, you relate to that, right? I feel like once it's dark, I need to be in my home.
Yeah, so I started my first, my broadcasting career, I started in Regina, so Saskatchewan doesn't do the time change. And I noticed that, like, you really don't miss the time change. When your days just gradually get shorter and it's like minute by minute, it doesn't feel as alarming that the sun rises so much later, because you just gradually have that experience of the time changing through the year as opposed to it being these big shifts. And I really enjoyed it. The hardest thing for me just became when I had friends over different provinces trying to figure out, okay, are we on the same time now as Alberta or the same time as like, where are we when I was in Saskatchewan? But if everybody changed and everyone got rid of it, I think it would just be so much simpler.
Well, and that's the thing with this Ontario legislation that we're talking about this morning, is that Ontario has said yay, but only if Quebec decides to do it and New York decides to do it. So it's one of those things like, okay, we could say, yeah, we're in, but if they're not in, we're not in.
But
can you imagine flights?
That.
Think how many flights and how much travel happens between New York State and Quebec.
It's for cultural reasons and for financial reasons, right? We want to make sure that our markets open at the same time, and we want to make sure that the relationship that Quebec and Ontario have had forever is maintained. So I get that. I think that's the responsible way to do this.
Maybe this is the year to shake it up, everybody. I mean, why not?
Look, I never thought that the vote would get as far as it did to begin with. I mean, the fact that we're still talking about this, I think, is really interesting.
I feel like we talk about it all the time and nothing ever
but we always
changes.
think it's a pipe dream, and the next thing you know, private members bill gets this far. So, so who knows?
We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.